stories are about men doing amazing things. Why aren't there any about women heroes? Well, what about the story of Atalanta, one of the greatest hunters and athletes that ever lived? Who on earth are you and where did you come from? I'm Artemis, the goddess of hunting, and be more polite to me in the future, my dear. I've turned people into trees for not minding their manners. Yes, your goddess. I mean your huntress. Don't worry about titles, just listen to the story. When Atalanta was born, her father the king was sad, not happy, like many Greek fathers of his day.
I wanted a boy who would become a great hunter and make me proud. There's nothing I can do with this girl. Take her and leave her on the mountainside somewhere.
What a rat her father was. He was a rat, but he wasn't a successful rat. The baby girl lived. How? Animals proved to be kinder than humans. A family of bears adopted the child and raised her as their own. They taught her the secrets of the forest. She became a great hunter. With amazing speed, she could chase down her prey. And with her sharp eyes and steady hands, she became a deadly shot with a bow and arrow. But if she stayed all by herself in the woods, how did she become famous? I had a little something to do with that. One day I got rather mad at one of the local rulers, King Aeneas, for not paying enough attention to my temples. They're getting a bit run down, you see, and people weren't making offerings to me anymore. I sent the good king a little present, actually quite a big present. I bet he was pleased. Would you be pleased? Big giant. Fire-breathing boar with razor-sharp tusks appear in your backyard.
Ah, boar, help me! Help my kingdom! Oh, somebody do something!
What's so special about this wild pig? Send someone out to kill it and we'll put an apple in its mouth and have it for supper.
I'm afraid that won't do, my dear. This boar is as big as an ox. Its tusks can slice down trees. Flames shoot out from its snout, and it's destroying all our crops. If we don't stop it soon, we'll have no harvest.
Well then, send all the best hunters in the world after it. Together they can bring it down, I'm sure.
So I called one out for help for Greece's greatest hunters. Some of the top shots who showed up included a brave warrior named Jason and Theseus of Athens. Aeneas' son Meleager and his two uncles head to the hunting party.
What a group of heroes. This will surely go down as one of the greatest hunts of all time. Wait a minute, who's that?
Atalanta strolled into the middle of the crowd. Her beautiful hair was worn in a ponytail. She had an ivory quiver full of arrows slung over her shoulder and a powerful bow in her hand.
I heard you mean someone that's a good shot.
At that very second, Meleager fell in love with Atalanta. Unfortunately, not everyone was thrilled to have Atalanta on the hunt.
A woman on a hunt? Whoever heard of anything so foolish? She'll be nothing but trouble. I know it. Send her away.
No! She stays. I bet she proves to be the best hunter of us all.
She's already bewitched our nephew. We'll have to keep an eye on her.
Remembering their purpose, the hunters put aside their disagreements over Atalanta and set out to defeat the gigantic boar.
We'll search high and low for that overgrown pig. Imagine being scared of some dumb little pig. Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. Oink, oink, oink. I don't see that ugly beast anywhere. Honestly, I'm not even sure if that silly thing exists. Let's look deeper in the woods.
So they stepped carefully into the darkest part of the forest. In the midst of all the tall trees and fallen branches, the hunters grew nervous.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Ah! Oh, sorry. I thought that stump over there was the...
Oh, there it is!
My big boar had seen the hunters before they saw it. It raced right past them, leaving them in great confusion. The weapons went flying in all different directions. Only luck had kept the hunters from killing each other.
Hey, next time look where you're throwing that spear.
I didn't throw that one. You threw it. My spear landed way on top of that tree over there. Oh no! Here comes the boar and we're all gonna die!
Only Atalanta kept her cool. As the boar crashed through the tree, she aimed one of her arrows carefully and let it fly. The missile struck the boar right behind the ear and knocked it.
Now, Meleager, use your spear and finish the job.
Oh, try. With that, the prince thrust his spear into the unlucky boar, killing it and freeing the people from its deadly
Now, Atalanta, since you drew first blood from this beast, you deserve these prizes, the tusk and the hide.
Wait a minute, nephew. You killed the beast. The prize are yours, not the she-bears. I refuse to let you give them to him. You listen to me, or else.
Watch your tongue, uncle. Atalanta deserves its prizes, just as she deserves my love.
Prince, I don't know what to say. I do. You're not getting any prize, and you're certainly not getting my nephew. You're just a nobody from the wrong side of the forest.
With that, the uncles turned their weapons towards Atalanta. Meleager was prepared. In love and enraged, he drew his sword and killed them both. When Queen Althea, Meleager's mother, heard what happened at the hunt, she was torn apart inside.
How could my son have done such a terrible thing? He killed his own uncles to defend that wild girl. My brothers must be avenged. But to avenge them would mean I'd have to kill my own son. What can I do?
After hours of agonizing the thought, she decided there was no other choice. Her own son would have to give up his life to pay for the deaths of his uncles.
Servant! Go to the back of my closet and tap on the wall. When you hear a hollow sound, you'll have found my secret hiding place. Break down the wall and bring me the chest. I've kept him there all these years.
The servant did as the queen commanded. The servant then returned with a wooden box that was covered with 20 years' worth of dust. Althea opened the box and took out an old lamp that had been charred by fire.
Put this on the fire.
The servant thought it strange, but did as the queen commanded. The servant returned to find the queen sobbing.
I've carried out your orders, great queen, but can you tell me why you kept that plain old log for so many years?
It's a story that pains me. One night, when Meleager was just a baby, I sat before the fire singing my child to sleep. I must have fallen asleep too, because I had a terrible dream.
What was it, your highness?
I dreamed I saw the three fates, the old women who weave the events of our lives and decide when we will die, holding a short piece of yarn.
I'm the weaver of life. I say how long people live, and I say when they will die. I have infinite power. Mwahaha! The boy's life will not be long. Mwahaha! It will end when the log in the fireplace burns out. Mwahaha! Mwahaha! Mwahaha!
Are you finished?
Almost. Mwahaha! Mwahaha! Mwahaha!
How about now?
Yes, I think I perhaps am now finished.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure.
I leapt up, and with my bare hands pulled the burning log from the fireplace. I put out the flames and hid the log, so that no harm could come to my son. But now he has killed my brothers.
The servant turned to look at the log blazing away in the fireplace. Meanwhile, in the forest, Meleager and Atalanta were talking.
Atalanta, you're so brave, strong, and beautiful, and I'm single, and I was wondering if, like, maybe...
You don't look too well. You're sweating and you've got a terrible fever.
I feel like I'm burning up. Please go get me some water.
Your highness, the fire is almost out.
All right.
She better hurry. What could she do? Atalanta raced to a nearby stream. She cupped her hands and caught up some water and returned to Meleager's side. When she returned, she found Meleager dead. In just a short time, she'd fallen in love with him. Now he was gone. Some God's hand is in this, and here's what I say to you. Since you've taken away the man I loved, I'll never love another. I mean it. With that, Atalanta disappeared into the forest, swearing in her heart that she would never, ever marry. Don't tell me that's the end of the story. That's a terrible ending. What kind of storyteller are you? Wait, there's more. Atalanta wanted to be left alone, but she was a little too late. News of the great fort had spread far and wide, as the word of her beauty. Her father, the king who cruelly abandoned her at birth, came forward and invited her to live in his palace. There, young men, eager to win her approval, began camping out around the palace door.
Atalanta, what should I tell those men outside? They say they won't go home until you promise to marry one of them. And we can't do any work around here with that crowd blocking the door.
Send them away. Tell them I hate each and every one of them.
We tried that already. Remember? They don't listen to us. Please, you go talk to them.
All right, but it's not going to be pretty. Atalanta appeared at the gates of her father's castle and was stormed by hopeful suitors.
Marry me, and you'll never want to look at another man again.
If you marry me, I promise I'll stay right by your side forever.
If you're all trying to scare me, it's working. Okay, I'll marry one of you.
Yes!
The one who beats me in a race, that is.
We can't do that. You're as fast as lightning.
Hey, there's no harm in trying, is there? I'll give it a shot. You might slip or something.
I forgot to mention the catch. If you win, you get to marry me. But if I win, it's death for the loser.
Well, Atalanta, maybe you're right. We can't just be friends.
I just remembered I've got a problem with my Achilles heel. Better not race today. See you later.
Surprisingly enough, not all the suitors gave up. Some were so in love with Atalanta that they did race her, even though it cost them their lives.
Ready, set, go.
Sorry about this, I tried to warn you.
Please, no! I love you!
One day, a young man named Hippomenes came by to say a determined suitor challenged Atalanta. He couldn't believe that anyone would risk his life for some woman's hand in marriage.
Ready, set, go.
No! Don't take me away! Please, one more try! I win next time!
Then he saw Atalanta.
I must marry that woman or I'll die. The only problem is I'll most likely die trying to marry her. I think I'll need some divine help with this one.
Hippomenes asked for help from Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Aphrodite, who was none too pleased that Atalanta had sworn she would never love again, gave him 3 beautiful golden apples and he placed one in Atalanta's hand. The next day, Hippomenes appeared at Atalanta's door.
Not another one? Don't you know what'll happen to you?
But I'm sure I'll win this race. I feel that the gods are on my side.
Some people just can't take a hint. Please, go do yourself a favor and fall in love with someone else.
But the next morning, Atalanta found herself on the starting line with a confident young man. Hippomenes knew that he stood at the very spot where so many unfortunate suitors had stood before him. The signal was given and the race began.
Ready, set, go.
For the first 100 yards, Hippomenes managed to keep up with Atalanta, but then she started to take off.
I better put my plan into action.
The young man took out one of his golden apples he'd hidden in his tunic, tossed a dazzling apple in Atalanta's path.
I'll just stop to pick it up. After all, I've got him beat already.
When Atalanta stopped, Hippomenes managed to get the lead, but when Atalanta got back in the race, she quickly made up for lost time.
My second apple. Throw this one, put it to the right.
Atalanta went for this apple too. Although it took her way off course, she looked up and saw her opponent far ahead of her.
I've got to stop playing. This race is getting serious.
Coming into the home stretch, the runners were neck and neck. Hippomenes knew that he had no chance against Atalanta unless he used his brake.
My last apple. Hope it works.
He tossed his last shining, shimmering globe right in Atalanta's path. Though she knew stopping would cost her the race, she couldn't help herself. The third apple looked even more inviting than the other two. When Atalanta looked up from the apple, she saw Hippomenes crossing the finish line.
Atalanta, I've won. Now marry me.
All right, I'll keep my promise. Even if using these apples wasn't exactly fair, I'll be your bride.
And so they were married. There's another story about Atalanta and Hippomenes that says they returned to lion with Aphrodite, who was angry that Hippomenes never came back to beg her for the help. But that's we'll have to wait for another day.